A big rig hauling frozen food tips over on the 58. A second arrest is made in a local homicide case from last year. And President Trump visits the sites of two recent mass shootings. This is 17 News at noon. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tabitha Mills. A crash on Highway 99 backed up traffic for hours this morning, and it's still slow going in that spot as drivers are still being encouraged to take alternate routes. Earlier this morning, this semi-truck carrying frozen food was headed from the 58 to southbound 99 when it tipped over. A tortilla truck then crashed into the first truck. The drivers only received minor injuries, but the cleanup took hours, and traffic on Highway 99 southbound was backed up to Olive Drive at one point. Just make sure to stay with us online and on our website, kget.com, and our KGET Facebook and Twitter pages throughout the afternoon for updates on when all of the wreckage will be clear. Kern County Sheriff's deputies arrested a man suspected in a year-old murder case. In April last year, 31-year-old Kyle Ramirez was found dead in a home on Alexander Avenue in Rosamond. Court documents say the suspect, Jaime Brazino Perez, was in the same room and was arrested. He has pleaded not guilty. The sheriff's office announced late last month they were looking for a second suspect, 27-year-old Esteban Brazino. Yesterday, they got a tip, and with the help of Barstow police, Brazino was arrested, and he faces a murder charge. President Trump travels to both Dayton and El Paso today, carrying with him the sympathies of the nation after a weekend of terror that left 31 dead and more than 50 wounded. Jay Gray has been following the tragedies in Ohio and Texas and joins us from the scene of the first attack in El Paso.
Panic overnight in Times Square. The backfire of a passing motorcycle mistaken for gunfire.
People were screaming and crying and climbing over each other.
In Utah, it's a loud noise inside this mall that triggers chaos.
As you can imagine, there's a heightened sense of fear right now with things that have gone on around our country, and people were in a full-on panic.
With the nation on edge, President Trump travels to Dayton and El Paso, cities struggling in the wake of back-to-back mass shootings.
We'll be meeting with first responders, law enforcement, some of the victims, and paying my respects and regards.
The mayors in both grieving communities raising their voices, suggesting the president may get a chilly reception.
He's made this bet and he's got a lie in it, He hasn't, his rhetoric has been painful for many in our community, and I think that people should stand up and say they're not happy if they're not happy that he's coming.
No, I don't think my rhetoric has at all. I think my rhetoric is it brings people together.
As investigators try to piece together how and why the massacres took place, while families of the victims,
it just hurts,
wrestle with the heartache of their loss.
It's a pain that will never go away. It's like I'm living in a dream, and I want to wake up from it, but I can't.
Jay Gray, NBC News, El Paso.
All right, let's go ahead and switch gears now and get a look at your forecast with Kevin.
In terms of the weather, well, guess what? It's going to be hot today, but not as hot as yesterday, so that's some good news for you. Yesterday's high, 103 degrees, and as we take a look at the temperature right now, 93 for us. We've got a westerly wind at 7 miles per hour, so we're inching towards the century mark, and we will be close today. As you can see, these temperatures in the upper 90s. By 9 o'clock, we're looking at the lower 90s and a northwest wind at 9. And then we take a look at the Tehachapi area, 86 degrees right now. There is a light breeze out of the west-northwest at 10, and hour by hour, upper 80s throughout the afternoon, and by 9 o'clock, you'll sit back into the 70s. Also a little breeze picking up out of the northwest at 15. Much cooler air headed our way for the weekend. I've got details on that in just a few minutes.
Kevin, thank you. The father of a Bakersfield native believed to have been kidnapped or killed in Los Angeles County is pleading for help. The LA County Sheriff's Office has been searching more than a week for Amanda Custer. They believe her boyfriend, Robert Camus, kidnapped her in Monrovia last Monday, and a video posted to social media appeared to show him rapping about killing her. He may have taken her to the San Gabriel Mountains, specifically the Mount Baldy and Little Creek areas. We told you first last week that Custer was from Bakersfield. Her brother confirmed she graduated Liberty High School in 2006. She eventually left Kern County. Yesterday, her father shared a handwritten note asking anyone visiting Lytle Creek and Mount Baldy to please help find her. He ended the note writing, "We are pleading with anybody who might have a tip that might help to report it, as we are very distraught and need to bring our Amanda home. 12:05 now. In 1 week from today, students across Kern County will head back to class. But is your student ready? If they don't have their vaccines up to date, they won't be able to start school on time. This week, Kern County Public Health is holding a vaccine clinic at the Veterans Hall on Ridge Road to make sure kids can be in the classroom, ready to learn on the first day.
They do need vaccinations to go back to school, especially if children are entering kindergarten or if they're advancing on to 7th grade. So we want them to be able to check their records, ensure that those vaccinations are up to date before they go and register their children for school.
As a general rule, kids going into kindergarten will need their tetanus and pertussis, MMR, and chickenpox vaccines, and students entering the 7th grade need a Tdap booster and a second dose of the chickenpox vaccine. Kern Public Health is holding that vaccine clinic at the Veterans Hall on Ridge Road. The clinic is open from 8 a.m. until 5 today and tomorrow. Next week, the clinic will be open 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Wednesday. You can also visit pharmacies and urgent care for walk-in appointments, or if your child is in the Bakersfield City School District, you can take them to one of the district's wellness centers. Be sure to bring your child's shot record and insurance or medical card. A reminder, we're in the final stretch of our backpack drive to make sure kids have what they need for the new school year. This morning, we got some help from the Frontier High School cheerleading team who stopped by to drop off some backpacks. We're teaming up with the Bakersfield Homeless Center to make sure kids there and children who have recently moved out have what they need to start school off right. We're hoping to collect 700 backpacks with basic school supplies and also clothes and underwear for boys, girls, and teens. You can drop off donations at our station on 22nd and L Streets or the Homeless Center on East Truxton Avenue today through Friday. California's largest operator of recycling redemption centers shut down Monday and laid off 750 employees. At least 5 of Replanet's kiosks were in Bakersfield. Replanet closed all of its 284 centers statewide. The company cites increased costs and falling prices of recycled aluminum and plastic. China, which has bought much of the U.S.'s recyclable material, has become stricter about what kinds of material it will accept. Advocates are urging the state to reform how it subsidizes recycling centers to account for rising operating costs in the wake of continuously low aluminum and plastic prices. Public health officials shut down the Tacos La Villa restaurant on California Avenue after finding live cockroaches in the food area and water damage in different parts of the establishment. The restaurant at 1523 East California Avenue received a 68% score during Tuesday's inspection, according to a report posted by Public Health. The report, it said inspectors found cockroaches in the food area and water damage to the ceiling in the back prep area where cooking was being done. Cooking equipment was loaded with chemicals were stored above food products. The restaurant received a 99% score at its last inspection in April. Meantime, Thai restaurant King of Siam was shut down Monday due to cockroaches in the food prep area and coming out of ceiling tiles. According to an inspection report, the report said an employee admitted knowing about the cockroach problem, and the restaurant received a 62% score. It had a 94% score at its last inspection in April. You know you're supposed to do it, but do you put your phone or tablet down as you wind down for bed? Coming up, we'll delve into the damage you could be doing to your health, and another case of the measles in LA, and a warning for you if you travel to a specific area in the last month. Your 17 Health Watch is after the break. Welcome back in your 17 Health Watch. A measles scare in Los Angeles after a person infected with the virus traveled through the heavily populated Union Station. According to the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health, the contagious person was a non-resident who traveled through the transit station on July 23rd. Anyone who may have been at this location on those dates may be at risk of developing measles for up to 21 days after being exposed. There have been 16 measles cases in Los Angeles County this year. Also in your 17 Health Watch, most seniors with dementia live at home, but they tend to have poorer health than those in care facilities. That's according to a new study from the University of California in San Francisco. Researchers looked at over 700 older adults with moderately severe dementia. Patients who lived at home were younger but had more chronic conditions, pain, and anxiety than those in nursing homes. Experts say this does not mean seniors with advanced dementia should be moved, but shows the need for home-based medical care. A new study suggests eating poultry instead of red meat may reduce the risk of breast cancer. Researchers tracked over 42,000 women for more than 7 years. They found women who consumed the most red meat had a 23% higher risk of developing invasive breast cancer than those who ate the least. But eating more poultry reduced breast cancer risks. A lot of folks are guilty of spending too much time on their smartphones or tablets at bedtime. I know I am. And that habit is robbing us of more than just sleep. It's also bad for our health. Catherine McGinney explains how those devices can affect your well-being.
If you lie in bed at night and stare at some type of screen, well, you aren't the only one.
The whole time until I go to sleep.
That's usually about an hour. I usually have to put myself to sleep because I go to college early in the morning. So,
according to the American Sleep Foundation, 90% of people in the United States admit to using a technological device during the hour before bedtime. So what happens when we use these devices before bed? An artificial blue light is emitted from most screens. This bright light delays the circadian rhythm, which is basically your body's internal clock, hindering the release of melatonin, a sleep-inducing hormone. Dr. Salim Surani says the biggest issue he sees with the use of devices in bed is sleep deprivation.
And sleep deprivation is like you borrow money from bank. If you don't return it, you're in trouble.
Dr. Surani has been doing sleep education and research for almost 25 years. He says the issue of sleep deprivation is only getting worse over time, with cell phones and tablets playing a major role.
Majority of the people, where do they keep the cell phones? Right next to their pillows or in a reachable distance.
Dr. Surani says not only are people staying up late and not getting enough sleep, the noise of a phone going off through the night and its bright light can fragment or interrupt our sleep patterns.
You know, the light emits is so powerful we don't realize that in the dark, when you turn the light on, it just, blows all your sleep receptors and you become very awake. So that's a very major challenge.
Sobering facts that could keep you tossing and turning. But Dr. Surani says the solution is simple.
So my advice to them is when you go to the bed, turn your phone off. Everything can wait.
There is a night shift feature on most phones that adjusts the display colors to the warmer end of the spectrum, which is supposed to reduce blue light. Some good information there, though, Kevin, because I know I'm super guilty of being on my phone too late.
Yeah, most definitely. Me too. Now, let's take you outside right now, and a few high clouds off to the east, and we may see a few high clouds the rest of the day, but it's not going to be much. I don't think it's going to hinder our temperatures. We're still going to be rising near 100 again. 93 out there currently. You have a westerly wind at 7. Overnight, we were at 76, 6 degrees off the normal. Normal high today is 97, so we'll be close to that. And 110, the record set back in 1905. We've got 92 in Delano, 90 in Butwillow, Wasco at 93, 80s into the mountains for Frazier Park and Tehachapi, and then we've got 95 at Lake Isabella and almost at 100 for Ridgecrest. Here's a look at the satellite and radar, and you can see a few of these high clouds off to the east near the Tehachapi area, but again, some of those just bleeding over the mountain range, and that's why we're seeing it off to the east. Here's a look at regional temperatures right now. We've got upper 60s in the Bay Area, 91 in Fresno. And 70s to the south. Already a hot afternoon in Vegas at 103 with Phoenix at 98. Even a few isolated thunderstorms to the east of us, and that will continue throughout the day into parts of Nevada, possibly into Arizona. Nothing headed into the Kern County area. In fact, the beaches are looking pretty good today. 68 degrees on the high under sunny skies. UV index is also high. Sunscreen needed. Water temperature out at Pismo Beach hovering right around 57 degrees. Rip currents are low, and the wave height around 2 to 3 feet, which which isn't bad. We've got high pressure to the east and a trough developing out of the northwest, and this trough is going to help us day by day in terms of our temperatures, and by the weekend, we're going to be in the 80s, and you can see it here as that trough deepens into northern California, and we will get some of that cooler air to head into Kern County, but it will be short-lived. By next week, we see that ridge build back in, and temperatures will be on the rise into the triple digits. Air quality today unhealthy for sensitive groups with an AQI at 129. Today we'll call for temperatures near 100, 100 in Bakersfield and Arvin, 99 in Delano, Wasco, 98, 99 in Taft. For the mountains in the Kern River Valley, 87 Frazier Park, 83 in Bear Valley, and then for the Kern River Valley, mid-90s, 96 Lake Isabella along with Kernville, Wofford Heights at 94. Look for a west wind 10 to 15 throughout the afternoon. And then for the desert, sunny, a west wind 5 to 10, 97 in Mojave with Ridgecrest at 103. Here's your extended forecast. Tomorrow, 96. Yeah, back in the 90s. Lower 90s for your Friday, and then upper 80s on Saturday. And then we inch things back up near 102 by next Tuesday. For the mountains, we're going to stay in the 80s through tomorrow, 79 on Friday. I know there are a few festivals taking place in the mountains, especially in Tehachapi over the weekend. Temperatures are going to be perfect, but expect some breezy to windy conditions. And then right near 90 again next Tuesday. And then for the Kern River Valley, we're going to be in the 80s this weekend before those 90s return by Monday. So the weekend looking great for all of Kern County. It'll be a weekend to get out and enjoy it.
Yeah, those kids who haven't started school yet, one last hurrah.
One last hurrah with some nice temperatures before they're back to the grind.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Well, you transmit all sorts of sensitive information on your smartphone, but are you leaving yourself open to having it stolen? A look at how to protect that data coming up after this.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back now in your 17 Business Watch. And checking stocks, the Dow is down roughly 74 points. The NASDAQ is up about 8 points, and the S&P 500 down roughly 4 points today. Walmart is now open in Tehachapi. The new Walmart brought over 200 new jobs to the city and comes with the company's free grocery pickup service. City officials plan to cut the ribbon, plan to do it this morning. The new Walmart is on Tucker Road near West Tehachapi Boulevard. A Bakersfield couple wants to get people spinning. They're opening an indoor spin studio in the Rosedale area this fall. It's called Rush Cycle. They plan to have high-intensity, full-body cycling workouts. There's no exact opening date yet, but they're aiming for late October. Rush Cycle will open next to Studio Movie Grill on Callaway Drive off of Rosedale Highway. We use our smartphones and tablets to transmit a lot of sensitive information, the kind you wouldn't want getting into the wrong hands. With a virtual private network, or VPD, you can encrypt that data, hide your physical location from others, and more. PC Mike Windland reports.
CyberGhost VPN is easy to use. With just one tap, your info is encrypted to the point of maximum level protection. It doesn't interfere with streaming services either, including videos. There are no issues with buffering, load times, or frozen pages. It blocks malicious websites, ads, and more. It's free for iOS and Android, but you need a subscription after a brief trial. VPN Super Unlimited Proxy uses anonymous global servers with multiple protocols to guarantee connection. That means your service won't randomly drop out. It offers unlimited bandwidth, doesn't require any kind of registration or login, which adds yet another level of security. It's free for iOS. Computer security software company McAfee offers a mobile VPN option. It's called Mobile Security and Safe Web VPN. It offers protection for your mobile device by strengthening security, and it provides anti-theft protection. It's free for iOS and Android, but you need a subscription after that trial.
Well, would you like more information about all of this? I have made it easy for you. All you have to do is go over to my PC Mike Tech blog. There is my address on your screen. I have built in direct links to everything you just saw. Till next time, I'm PC Mike Wendland for NBC News.
Well, it's a unique way to chill out. Float tanks are rising in popularity. We'll hear why and check out some of the science behind it. Welcome back. Float tanks or float therapy spas are popping up across the U.S. Fans of the isolation tank experience say it's a chance to relax and zen out. Liz McLaughlin visited one to see this unique way to chill.
Here is our pod suite.
It's not always sink or swim. For 60 minutes, you can simply float.
We call floating meditation on training wheels.
Sensory deprivation chambers or float tanks are an exploding wellness trend.
Float therapy is nothing new.
But it is experiencing a renaissance. There are now hundreds of float spas across the U.S. True Rest has 34, with 15 more opening this year, attracting customers like Addie Collett for the mental health benefits.
I have a super ADD personality, so it's helped me a lot just relax and unwind.
Sessions are 60 minutes in a private float pod room.
It's very rare that there's just an hour of your life where no one's talking to you or no distractions.
More than 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt makes floating effortless.
Even a bowling ball floats inside our pods.
The water is the same temperature as your skin.
Oh, it's warm.
And once the pod closes, there's no light or sound.
You're one with yourself and you're one with your thoughts.
After the float, customers can decompress at the oxygen bar.
I feel very good right now. I'm very relaxed.
Jessica Scripture came for the first time, hoping float therapy would help ease her back pain and sleep problems.
I think it's going to start as a health fad, and I think the benefits are going to show, and I think it's going to stick around.
As more people decide to float their anxieties away. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
When we return here on 17 News at noon, a 4-year-old New York girl is setting the bar high for young mountain climbers. Her story is next.
Welcome back. Finally at noon. For most hikers, becoming a 46er is a long-time goal. But a 4-year-old girl from New York summited all 46 of the highest peaks in the Adirondacks before her 5th birthday. Wow.
That is
what
crazy. Yeah, Maeve Nesbitt is now the youngest 46er on record. And her parents say no, they didn't carry her once. Maeve is about half the height of the average 46er, but she might have twice the energy. Her grandma calls her a mountain goat. Maeve now wants to take on the 115 highest peaks in the Northeast, and she also has another big challenge she's ready to take on this fall: kindergarten. That's a big hurdle to climb.
That
too.
is a huge hurdle, and man, I wasn't expecting to read that about a 5-year-old.
Yeah, she's a tiny tot, and look at all the big things she's doing.
She's outrun me, that's for sure.
Just goes to show you, if you put your mind to it,
you can do anything.
That's all we have for 17 News at noon. Thanks for joining us.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News.